The hood never lied, and as they say, the rats in the hood get restless as the journey becomes difficult. The most terrible part of betrayal is that a trusted friend or acquaintance, never an enemy, is the one who does it. In this video, I'll demonstrate how an OTF member reacted when Lil Durk dubbed him a snitch. It seems that there are rats in Lil Durk's crib. Catastrophe. In a startling turn of events, rapper Lil Durk's imprisonment on federal charges of murder for hire made it expensive to assume loyalty on the street. There seems to be a rat in the family alone when trust and devotion were the norm. How was it possible for someone close to Lil Durk to turn against him and allow his arrest? According to the Express Tribune, among other recent reports, Durk was. This recent event, which was uncovered by an OTF member who surreptitiously linked his employer, Lil Durk, to Quando Rando's attempted murder, which resulted in LLOP's murder, has left the industry in complete shock. OTF Jam, the informant, reportedly wore a covered wire for years in order to gather information for the authorities. Later, OTF Jam was released. According to recently released material, Lil Durk, the biggest fish, was implicated in the murder for hire scheme against Tyan Terrell Bauman Sakes, a native of Rondo who was released from prison in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempted murder. He claimed that the snitch was revealed for wearing a doglie and that he was an OTF member, and he was among the first to tweet about the treachery of gangster rapper Lil Durk in the home. Some accounts claim that OTF Jam wore a wire for several years, served a 12-year term. Many conversations were triggered when the news first surfaced online, with most people wondering how OTF Jam managed to conceal the wire for years without anybody noticing. One user joked that he was concealing it in his large forehead, while another user attempted to clarify that police officers now provide you with a little, extremely sensitive sound recorder that you simply need to insert into your. Nevertheless, this user's perspective seems to be current with the most recent technological advancements. It asserts that a wire is a gadget that is all about you and that you don't need to wear a movie wire because your phone serves as the wire. But that's my opinion, not the truth. Rats and technology, in my opinion, have evolved together, and I must admit that attaching a wire to a rat doesn't seem particularly modern. Wack, a rapper and music executive for Vlad TV, recently spoke with. When the host of DJ Vlad's show brought up OTF member Jam's treacherous nonsense, 100 people talked about Lil Durk's arrest and the purported information that an OTF member had given on him. 100 people thought it was absurd that Jam was released from prison after 12 years and then turned against him after an interview in which he vowed loyalty and received gifts and accolades from OTF Durk.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he fled.
DJ Vlad claims that Jam was just detained because he wore a recording device to get information on Lil Durk and OTF. After receiving a 12-year term for attempted murder, allegedly in 2010, which coincided with Lil Po's death, Jam was free from prison in 2022. As with music, it's very fantastic. According to CEO Wack 100, Jam's secret position has generated a lot of discussion and conjecture among the hip-hop community, and this apparent treachery within OTF has drawn a lot of attention due to Lil Durk's incarceration and the finding of a rat in a house reserved for the family. VJ Jerry Jam revealed a leaked 2023 interview with OTF Jam. OTF Jam recalled how the rapper Lil Durk provided him with financial support and other sorts of assistance throughout his incarceration and how his songs motivated him. He also talked about his long-standing friendship with Durk and the assistance he received during his time behind bars. I remember Durk was making rap songs for our parties, he said, before adding, that was before the fame and the money he got me. Even though OTF Jam did not address his alleged communication with the FBI to bring Lil Durk down, His worries about going to jail show how close, trustworthy, and loyal he and Lil Durk were before legal troubles prompted them to separate ways.
I'm saying, like, that's bro. I'm saying, my whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like, before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. Like, I remember when the money wasn't there, so I'm gonna say you 50, I got you. I gave my lawyer money and everything when I'm fighting my case. I ain't gonna lie, Durk come through.
There was an allegation that Lil Durk had donated OTF Jam $50,000 to pay his attorneys and mend his ways when he was free from
prison. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta act shit, bro. He said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fact.
It is clear that a rat was brought into the house after OTF Jam was released from prison and reintegrated into the family. However, there was no rat in Lil Durk's own group. It's difficult to identify a rat, to be honest, especially if the rat was behind the majority of the crimes you have been committing. It's said that a childhood friend deceived you after you looked out for him, and wearing the wire around Durk is crazy. I agree that betrayal should only be committed by a friend. Here, a user provides a thorough analysis of Jam's betrayal and the repercussions for him on the streets. Throughout his 12 years of homelessness, Durk has been a good man who has been feeding him steak and providing for him. He returns home after 12 years to a life he has only ever imagined, but he is found in possession of a gun. He has a history of violent offenses. Therefore, the firearm charge could possibly carry a couple of years. A probationary violation assumed that because of the charge, he earns 5 points for the gun and 3 points for the infraction. That's a tough pill to swallow for the average street person, but it won't sit well with someone from the bottom who hasn't had any experiences for 8 years and has grown accustomed to a particular way of life. He went on to say that the federal government will not protect his family since they do not have the resources to change their environment or guarantee their safety. Therefore, it will cost that snitch more than what he was attempting to protect. After learning of Durk's betrayal by one of his own, many people have started to question the gang's loyalty, unless, of course, the federal government had provided security for him and his family. The Black Disciple Street Gang is definitely associated with OTF, which stands for Only the Family, based on the content of their songs and the way they. OTF may be regarded as the gang's family above all else, but the issue is that family doesn't always imply blood ties or cousins. Rather, it refers to a group of individuals who are bound together by a common struggle and a determination to live on the streets when their owner is unable to. This, in my opinion, explains why Lil Durk founded OTF on the basis of trust, which also explains why Lil Durk felt compelled to support OTF Jam after he was announced to have come out straight after being released from prison. The main query is why OTF Jam betrayed his boss, who helped him get through his dark years, and violated the family code. According to reports, OTF Jam was found guilty of a shooting in 2010 and given a 12-year prison sentence before being released in February 2022. Though it's unknown what the status of his current charge is, police documents that XXL was able to collect show that he was arrested again on a warrant in May 2023 in relation to the same charge. Family to prevent his reincarceration. Does this imply that OTF Jam was compromised? Although loyalty was supposed to be unwavering, anyone else could suffer in prison. There are rumors that it's more complicated than that. The street claims that after discovering that OTF Jam was wearing a wire, Lil Durk had the mother of Jam's child assassinated and had a man killed in retaliation for the death of his brother D. The notion was refuted by social media user Flacco, who said that the feds thought Lil Durk had paid to have these two people killed. Stephen Mack killed Lil Durk's brother. When Durk discovered he had a wire around him, he killed his baby mama. The feds believe that OTF Jam is the key to locking up Lil Durk for all three bodies, but I haven't found any hard evidence to support this theory. Curiously, I came onto this online troll when looking up information about OTF Jam and the motivations behind his tip to the OTF founder. Fans are saying that OTF Jam was comically snitching on Lil Durk while eating McDonald's, which was sparked by unearthed footage showing him doing so in what appears to be an interrogation room. DJ Academics initiated the trolling by urging his fans to caption the image, and his followers soon allowed the trolling to spiral out of control. One user commented, "Bro snitched on Durk for a Big Mac and fries," while another added, "You're probably wondering how I got here." Unfortunately, OTF Jam was chowing down on his Big Mac and fries with a wiry body that looked like an electric pole when his boss, Lil Durk, was in the jail.
Rapper Lil Durk has been arrested and charged with a murder-for-hire plot. The Chicago native, whose real name is Durk Banks, was arrested in Florida by the U.S. Marshals Service. The 32-year-old's arrest comes as 5 other people in Chicago were arrested in connection with the investigation.
It was stunning for the business to hear that rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks, had been jailed and was facing murder charges. The for-hire conspiracy is connected to the murder of Lil Quando Rondo's cousin. Although I am aware that you were starting to make connections, quickly after federal officials in California indicted 5 individuals believed to be members of Lil Durk's crew, a member of Durk's own family, OTF crew, was arrested. These defendants allegedly intended to cross state lines in 2022 in order to execute the claimed attack against Quando Rondo's circle.
5 people in custody who weren't in custody before. 5 people who were alleged to have committed a murder in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon in the city of Chicago.
Essentially, a federal agent jumped in and arrested 5 defendants in connection with the August 2022 shooting death of Quando Rondo's cousin in Los Angeles. They are charged with plotting to commit murder for cash in retaliation for the death of King Von. In order to accuse Big Fish Lil Durk of a more serious crime, the FBI seems to have been searching for a strong connection between the murder and him. Despite being named after his buddies, the federal authorities apparently recognized that the crime was a continuation of the terrible events that took place in 2020 in the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, when Lil Durk's best friend was murdered. Now, I believe the federal government can see that Lil Durk undoubtedly made the decisions about King Von's death without the assistance of an informant. I believe that the feds only wanted someone to implicate him and offer substantial proof that Lil Durk participated in the strike in retaliation. Jam is a close circle affiliate of Lil Durk, and the FBI may have learned a lot from Jam's wiretap body. Actually, OTF Jam is that individual. It makes it natural that when they achieve their goal, the most catastrophic events in Durk's career occurred.
Locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now. This is this. Yes, Broward. He's in Florida. I got the whole thing on. Look on my stream. I got it. Oh my God, bro.
As was to be expected, DJ Academics was one of the first to inform the industry about Durk's arrest. He tweeted about the incident and made a video. According to authorities, Lil Durk was arrested by U.S. Marshals on Thursday and is being detained at the Broward County Correctional Facility until he is transferred to California on a federal charge of murder for hire in connection with the killing of Quando Rondo's cousin. According to police paperwork from Florida's County Correctional Facility, the 32-year-old rapper is being held without the possibility of bail while he awaits extradition to California to face federal accusations. The backstory of his publicly accessible mugshot is as follows. After 5 OTF members were federally indicted on October 17th for allegedly attempting to assassinate Rondo in 2022 for supposedly being associated with the OTF gang, Lil Durk established the label Only the Family OTF in 2010. He asserts that OTF is not a gang. King the rapper's death in 2020 in London, Grant Danger Dantrell Wilson, and other males are mentioned in the case. Although Lil Durk was not named as a defendant in the October 17 complaint, it has been shown that his imprisonment by federal officials is related to the murder. Charged for Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and ASA Houston for hire, the indictment is not just about the 5 individuals accused of killing El Pap. Please have a look at this.
It says, the charges include conspiracy to murder for hire committing murder for hire involving a death and the use of a machine gun in a violent crime resulting in death.
Let's connect the dots. The indictment describes a well-thought-out plot involving alleged OTF affiliates who assassinated Quando Rando's cousin Lulab after setting a bounty on him. OTF members allegedly used a credit card associated with the record business to buy airline tickets after discovering Quando Rando's whereabouts, allowing them to travel from Chicago to California. Prosecutors presented their case against Lil Durk and his label last Friday, asserting that the family is a hybrid organization that both operates as a music company and a criminal organization. These individuals supposedly believed Quando Rondo was responsible for King Val's tragic death in 2020. Thus, they planned to exact revenge on the rapper. The shooting was part of a larger conspiracy that involved suspected OTF gang involvement, an organization that has carried out heinous and disgusting acts under the supervision of banks, according to the most recent charges. One of those crimes was the attempted murder of rapper Quando Rondo in 2020, who was allegedly planning a retaliatory attack against rapper King Von, Lil Durk's friend. According to both the new accusations and the prior indictment, the 5 individuals were accountable for the shooting death of Quando Rondo's cousin in 2022. Durk is referred to as Banks in the indictment. The 2022 shooting was ordered by Lil Durk, according to the prosecution, as retaliation for a shooting in Atlanta in 2020 that was allegedly carried out by a Rondo associate. According to the prosecution, King Von was killed during a public altercation between Banks and TB, was about to leave the country at the time of his arrest. Following the arrest of 5 OTF members, authorities reportedly learned that Lil Durk had bought commercial flights to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and Switzerland, but he never boarded any of them. After the FBI allegedly discovered that Lil Durk had acquired passage tickets, he was arrested just before he boarded a private jet to Italy. "This year is the year of truth," I thought Cat Williams had said since. According to the indictment, co-conspirator 1 and other OTF members would post a bounty on TB Quando Rondo, also known as TB, which appears to implicate OTF as a whole. The most recent petition said that the bounty would be distributed to defendant Wilson and other known and unknown co-conspirators. Through OTF, compensate the TB murderers and slash or provide them with lucrative music chances. Definitely, I believe Lil Durk is listed in the indictment as co-conspirator 3 due to his degree of cooking. Use an OTF credit card to investigate this. According to the authorities, co-conspirator 3 would buy plane tickets so the other conspirators could travel to California for TB. Additionally, hotel reservations were made with the same credit card that was purportedly issued under. According to the indictment, defendant Jones, Lindsay, and co-conspirator 2 shot TB multiple times while TB was a passenger in TB's vehicle. If you understand the idea, you don't require an interpreter. Seniors are. Recall how, following the raid on Quando Rondo's camp, there was a report that someone had discovered his whereabouts? However, the street is always right since, according to the second indictment overact, on August 18, 2022, 1 or more conspirators, including co-conspirator 4, discovered that TB was traveling to California and lodging at a hotel in Los Angeles. Before you become overly preoccupied with the more general issue of who snitched, let's examine the language of the indictment. Describe the terrible events of the day as reported by the Federal Reserve. The killer team used 2 cars, one of which had a registered license plate, to find and try to kill TB at a gas station in Los Angeles. The conspirators are accused of firing at least 18 rounds at TB's automobile during the assault, some of which struck and killed TB. Prosecutors also said that the murder squad later met at a cafe where they smuggled cash for the attack, and then made one last mistake at dawn. They allegedly used the same credit card connected to the OTF to purchase tickets to Chicago. Note how the crime is linked to the 2020 murder of King Val in the indictment.
Here it is. It says, the charges mark the latest fallout from the high-profile killing of King Von. They connecting it. They connecting dots.
Prosecutors are therefore justified in thinking that the case is a component of a wider dispute. Rondo's camp and Von's OTF associates' relationship deteriorated after Von's untimely death in Atlanta at the conclusion of the 2020 incident involving King Von and Rondo's group. This recently discovered murder for H plot is thought to be the continuation of the retaliation following V's death. However, as I examined this case, I saw a user comment that says, "Vital due to its delicate detection, even more heartbreaking is the discovery that all of this chaos is the result of an egotistical fistfight that took place in 2020, leaving Durk with a bowl of repercussions that he could have to deal with for the rest of his life." Sometimes, especially when they have the money to play gangster, rappers forget this: the individuals you choose to spend your time with today, and the things you spend time with have a big impact on both your work and your life in general. This is especially true for Lil Durk's story, since the creator of OTF had a fantastic year at the start of the year before being quickly charged with a felony that, if proven true, may land him in prison for the rest of his life. To put it briefly, this was the month prior to Lil Durk's incarceration.
So, Durk Banks, also known as Lil Durk. It brings me great honor and pleasure as the mayor of the Village of Broadview to present this key. And so on behalf of the Village of Broadview, we are honored to present this key to the city, to Durk Banks, neighborhood hero.
The Grammy Award winner received 2 city keys, the Village of Bellwood and the Village of Broadview, in appreciation of his work with the Heroes Foundation in his hometown. The self-described voice of the trenches has received numerous honors in recent years, including the unexpected gift of the city's key. Was put on hold for a week after his arrest on Friday, the honorary key Durk had received from Chicago Village officials in the community of Broadview, where the moral and ethical standards of behavior are even higher according to the public perception of the residents. Everyone is deemed innocent unless proven guilty. This reflects only a small piece of the implications of gang life. If you are fortunate, you will likely have your reputation destroyed and land up in jail. If you are unlucky, like King Von, you will likely be trapped 6 feet beneath. Some people are still thinking about what transpired in V. If it were worth it, I would like to take you back 5 years to a time when freedom and life were not cherished. On November 6, 2020, King Von and his entourage visited Atlanta's famed Monaco Hookah Lounge, a popular nightlife venue. There was also Cool Rondo and his entourage. No one could have predicted the disastrous events that would transpire throughout the evening, despite the tense environment and high tensions. CCTV evidence showed that King Von struck Cool Rondo first when he approached him outside the nightclub after a violent altercation between the two groups. With punches flying, the fight quickly got out of control and descended into chaos. "He's leaking, Tim." Cool Rondo's first-day friend allegedly pulled out a gun and opened fire. The crowd erupted after King Von was struck several times. V's team quickly tried to evacuate him while the gunfire persisted into the night, but the harm had already been done. King Von was seriously hurt when a medical professional attempted to assist him, and he was sent to a nearby hospital. Rondo, one of V's loyalists, was furious when Tin was arrested at the site and accused of killing King Von, only to be released on a $100,000 bond. He later passed away from his wounds. In later interviews, he strongly denied any role in the shooting and stated that he did not personally know King Von and had never had any problems with him. Quetzal insisted that he and his group were only being safe throughout the conflict. Those who were impacted by what happened in the Monaco Hookah Lounge are still dealing with the fallout 5 years later. Even after King Von's passing, Rondo and his crew continue to live in continual fear of revenge, the loss of a loved one, and most recently, Lil Durk, who will probably spend the rest of his life behind bars for it. If you enjoyed this video and would want to see more like it, click the card that appears on your screen.